Hello and welcome, everybody. How are we doing? What is going on YouTube? If you are watching this, that means you are a subscriber. That means you have the notifications turned on, and you are my new BFF. So, here we go. We are doing Epic Popper. We're doing an Epic Popper and an Epic Cyclops Diver. We are using a 2-watt Mustad 3407 DT. DT stands for da 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 double tinned. So here we go. We have our olive body. It's 5/8 inch long, I do believe. And for our tying thread, let's go ahead and use our 210 denier black flat waxed thread. We'll start that behind the head, and that's going to create our reference point for our point of no return. So as we tie our fly, nothing shall go forward of the thread. None shall pass. All right, here we go. Let's grab our tail. For this, I have an olive bucktail. Pretty chopped up here at this point. I have some pretty good segments to choose from, so let's go ahead and take a small selection of that. And first things first, let's go ahead and clear this out. This is a nice olive drab colored bucktail we got here. Took the hair from about midway up the tail. I don't want too much flare, but I do want a little bit. I don't want it to just be a straight like I would on a clouser. So we'll put that in, tips down on our stacker. Give that a few wraps. I'm not going for perfect. I'm just going for a relative stack. All right, let's go our 1 hook's length. Sorry about that bump. And we'll do a couple of wraps underneath. Excellent. And again, there's our point of no return. We'll trim off our excess right there. All right, so let's think of a little bit of flash. This is, what is this? This is a Northern Lights. Where's the bag? It's a Private Stash Northern Lights Olive Radioactive, which means it does have some UV property to it, which is all right in my book. I don't know, 3 strands or so. Sparse as narce, as I like to say. We'll multiply by dividing. We'll fold that over in half. And look at that, now we have 6 strands. All right, for whatever reason, we just had a little glitch there. Don't know why, but we're back. Trying to get that camera back into where we want it. Move that fly life fish out of the way for now. All right, where were we? We tied our flash on the near side of the hook. We'll give it a couple of turns, and we'll fold it over, and we'll go to the far side of the hook. Nice and even length. Beautiful, I like that. All right, we'll make sure we're binding that all down nice and tight. All right, check your watches. You know what time it is? That's right, it's hackle time. Look at this big, beautiful piece of bird here. I want to go, I'm just going to go for it right about there. That's where I'm going to start. And we're going to palmer this on nice and tight. This is going to have a lot of fluff. A lot of fluff back there. Don't even bother with hackle pliers. This sucker is long. We'll just take touching wraps, working it forward just a little bit at a time. This is going to fill in that gap nice and pretty. We'll just be really mindful as we get to the tip of the hook. Nothing will snap a feather off faster than a nice brand new mustad. All right, we're at our thread. Let's go ahead and tie off our feather. Let's take a few wraps over it there. There we have it. All right. So now at this point, I'm going to spin my thread counterclockwise or anti-clockwise to a point where normally you'd stop and flatten out your thread, but I'm going to go beyond that. I'm going to over flatten that thread so it actually starts to tighten back up. It'll give me a nice ribbing on this hook shank as I work my way back and forth, and then eventually it flattens back out by the time I get up here for the whip finish. 1, 2, 3. Get that nice and tight. There you have it. Alrighty. Let's double check our head, make sure everything's looking all right on the back end. I'm liking that. So now we got to come in with our bodkin. We're going to do our pilot hole for our legs, which we're going to place right about there. And this way I can make sure I get this skewered in there nice and square. It's hard to do on the hook, and you're putting a lot of pressure on the whole system that's not completely necessary. So, all right, pilot hole has been piloted. Let's come in with just a little dab of Zappa-Gappa. And you know the routine, just a little dab will do us. We're just going to add just enough to wet the thread. Not squeezing them, just enough to wet the thread. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and attach our head and give it a rotate. And we'll squeeze. We're going to have to maybe not do the epic Cyclops diver. We are just noticed on my clock that we are extremely short on time, so for that I apologize. We'll just do this one epic popper, and we're going to have to call it quits after that. All right, now we'll run our leg puller all the way through. And for our legs, I'm using a barred speckled crazy frog leg. And let's go ahead and just take 2 of these. Two full-length legs. We'll bend them over and trim that loop. Run that through our leg puller, and success. Back in the vise. Cool. All right. Now for a little bit more glue, this is a gel control. I'll pull my legs a little bit towards one side. Add just a little drop of this gel control in there. Just a littlest drop. Pull that so the glue centers. And while we have our glue out, of course we got to give these poppers some eyes. We'll use a 7mm craft doll eye. We'll put that on the front quarter right there. Flip it over and we will repeat and do the same. All right. So there you have it. That's our Olive Epic Popper. We'll have to save the diver for another time. So we're going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in.